Good morning, everyone. Well, it's finally Friday. Looking down the barrel of the weekend. Let's see here. I think we've got things moving in the right direction. Let's see if we can adjust this. Get this over here. All right. I think we're up and running. All right. Very good. Let's see here. Where is Alex? Where is Alex hiding this morning? Or has he forgotten? Looks like, oh, and by the way, it looks like Lloyd Brunson's account is over 1,000 followers now.
Let's go.
Exactly. Good morning, Alex.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. So I just went and looked at Lloyd's account. Looks like he's well over 1,000 followers now.
Yeah, when I talked to him, he's got, I don't remember how many thousands, tens of thousands of followers on Truth Social. And I said, well, go promote your account on Truth Social and let everybody know that you're going to be on TikTok on Monday.
Oh, cool.
So maybe that helps.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Got that set up. That's moving there. And it looks like Dave is here. Good morning, Dave.
Morning, gentlemen.
Guys.
How goes the battle, sir?
No complaints. A little chilly here in eastern Iowa today, so
nice.
got
I
a
just
sweatshirt on.
Excellent. I just got my Caesar hat from Ben.
Nice.
Exactly. Good morning, James.
Good morning, sir.
What is the weather in Minnesota today?
42 chilly.
Ooh, 42. What the heck happened there?
'Tis the season, sir.
Yeah, I get. Well, no, it's only September.
Well, it chased the martins away, which is a little bit early, so we don't have any more mosquito eaters.
Oh, gotcha.
Love the martins. Love martin houses. Martins are cool birds.
All right, let's see here. Let's say some good mornings. Let's see who's piling in today. Well, Jason Coons. Wow, Jason's here early this morning. Good morning, Jason. Sherry from East Tennessee. Benji 1959. Good morning, Ben. Lisa Maria, the sheriff, is here. Mr. Smith, I'm married to Bob. And let's see, Teresa. Good morning, Patriot. King's Girl 1974. Classy 476. Valerie James. Joy. Kevin Kiesler. Marianne Thompson. Native San Diegan. One of my California cohorts, I guess. Wendy is here. Good morning, Wendy. Lee. Brian. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it might be. Cynthia Coons is here. She said that we can't hear Alex. Well, he just turned on his camera, so I think maybe that's why.
Hello.
Oh, Brian said he can't hear anybody. Huh.
Well, we didn't have our cameras on.
Well, maybe that's it. Well, John Gwynn is here. Good morning, John. Mama Bear. Grand Rising Caesar, she says. Exactly. Ben coming in hot with the Caesar crown. I love it. Hey, Tire Man. 85 in Surfside Beach, South Carolina. Wow. 85. Incredible. Rick Sr.'s here. Chris Romano. Scotty Too Hottie. Wow, everybody's piling in. Latina Boss Lady. Good morning, Boss Lady. Let's see here. Teresa said, was born in Omaha, Nebraska, raised in Lincoln. Wow. Hey, cool grandma's here. Hey, cool grandma. Okay, Brian, so we can hear everybody now. Okay, Brian can hear everybody, so we can start. Hey, look who's over here on Facebook. It's Lee Daniel. Good morning, Lee. Glad you could join us. All right, so let's see. We got a lot to go over today. And don't forget, everybody, today is Friday. So hey, Bill, thanks for the fireworks. So let's remember that we will have our subscriber-only live after the show today, and we usually end the show a little early to go to the subscriber-only live. So if you haven't subscribed yet on TikTok, please hit that subscription button. And now there are subscriptions available on YouTube, believe it or not. Yep, they allowed me to do subscriptions. So if, in fact, we do get subscribers, or when we do on YouTube, YouTube will be included in that subscriber-only live. Of course, Alex and I are going to have to do some juggling behind the scenes to make that happen, but I'm confident we can get it done. Vicky's here. Hey, Vicky, good morning. All right, here. So let's get to some indices with Alex. All right, there we go, Alex. You're on deck.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome in. Some not so good news and then some really good news. So let's dive in. S&P 500 down 34 points to 6,467. Dow 30 is down 257 points to 45,363. NASDAQ is down 68 points to 21,639. But gold is sitting at $3,640 an ounce.
Nice wings on your head there from John Gwynn.
Thank you, Mr. Gwynn.
Golden wings.
Golden. We like. Quite frankly, we like the gold. It's great. We like gold. Silver sitting up 30 cents to 41.24.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Record silver's 44.
I believe so. Yes. Looking at the crypto market, mixed market, some are up, some are down, but it's pretty across the board, has been for a couple of weeks. But I expect some news here in September is probably going to make things a little interesting. But Bitcoin sitting at 110,876. That's up 1%. Ethereum down 0.5% to $4,294. XRP up 0.02%, nowhere near a stake at $2.82. Cardano up 2% at 83 cents. XLM up 1% to 36 cents. HBAR sitting at 22 cents, which is up 2.5%.
Hey, are you guys hearing that noise in the background? I wonder.
Sounds like Alex's stomach's growling from eating those bad steaks down there.
Okay, it's gone now, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm not hearing it. So we have a lot of deltas. Quite a few. So, but the ones that I thought were relevant. Here we go. Fellow patriots, what you are about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control. Freedom in brackets. Information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt pure evil in brackets. Abuse of power that the Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There is no stopping it now. Deep state, stay the course, trust the plan. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave, all caps. We knew this day would come. United we stand. Where we go, one go all. We fight conspiracy no more.
excellent. And it's very apropos and not surprising with all that's being revealed over the jabs and the CDC and everything else that's going on. Exactly. Mama Bear said, hello, beautiful, to Lisa Maria. How sweet. Gen X Holtz is here. Gen X, where have you been? Glad you made it. Bill Jordan says, good morning, James. Let's see. Juju's here. John Gillis said 86 heading up to 93 in Starkville. Is that Mississippi? Wow. That's hot.
I think our high today is going to be 62 degrees. So
it's going to be like 90 here again.
Yeah, chilly over here too.
We have 4 seasons here. You know, over there in the belly of the beast, they only have like what, 2 seasons?
At the most. Exactly. At the most. So let's see here. Sarah Catherine said, good morning. I'll be listening in as I can't my third birthday. Well, happy birthday to your child. Happy birthday, Sarah Catherine, to your daughter or son. Not sure which it is, but happy birthday anyway. Classy 476 is here. Cynthia Coons is here. Red Wave US. D just made it. Good morning, D. AJMCSJ as well. All right, let's see here. Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Let's see, Dave, what do you got for us today when it comes to farming and agriculture?
Welcome in, everybody, on this beautiful Friday. Cool here in Iowa. Markets are pretty decent today. Corn is up 3 to 5 cents across the board. Soybeans are mixed. Red, obviously, for old crop, and new crop is just barely hanging on to a little bit of green on that. So wheat is up 1 to 2 cents. Cattle is down 0.4%, and hogs are down 0.6%. There's some good news coming out of the USDA. Good news and common sense. Regulation, they're putting in regulation to aims to phase down non-local produce in high school for school lunches. Instead of grapes and tomatoes out of Mexico, they're going to buy locally, and they're only allowing 10% of other countries' foods to be given to our kids. So good common sense. I'd like to hear that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Thanks, Dave. So, oh my gosh, the chat's moving so fast. Martini Time said, I'm headed to Tahoe in a bit to spend 4 nights for my 24th anniversary. Happy anniversary. I hope you guys have a great time. I actually love Tahoe. It's a great place to be. All right, let's see here. Boy, I've got a frog in my throat here. Pardon me, everybody. Martin's WB.
You need some NOS, Sam.
Yeah,
no. Need a little NOS.
I'd be climbing the walls. Martin, good morning. Martin's WB. Glad you could make it. Red Wave gave a clap to Iowa. Absolutely. Lisa Pickell said, I love that. Support local foods. Absolutely. Pure Blood Holly Johns just made it. Hi, Pure Blood. Glad you could make it. John Gwynn said, frogs and squirrels. Oh my, exactly. Oh my gosh. Crystal Zeski just showed up. And Teresa Faria Contractor. Hey, Teresa, glad you could make it. All right, let's see here, James. What do we have in terms of a military report? And I will try not to end your broadcast with the wrong button. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I want to comment on Dave's talk about produce going into schools. Not long ago, I bought a head of lettuce from the store that came from, and I happened to see it was from another country. And I had it in there about the same amount of time that I got some fresh lettuce from the farm. That head of lettuce went bad in less than a week, and the lettuce that I've had in there for 2.5 weeks from the farm is still just as fresh as the day I put it in there.
Wow.
So that's good for the kids. I'm happy to hear that.
Well, James, with regards to that, there's something we've been doing in America for a long time, and it's called green harvesting. What they do is they take the fruit or the vegetable off the tree or the branch early, get it to the store so that their spoilage rates go down. But when that happens, obviously it's not going to last as long in our possession. So I'm glad that you called that out. That's an important point to make. Sorry, go ahead.
There's another thing, Sam, too. You don't get the full nutrition of that fruit, vegetable, or anything. The longer it's in the field and the longer it ripens in that field, you get the full amount. So you're getting half the fruit or half the vegetables. So,
and you know what the big part of that is too, Dave? When you disconnect it from the tree or the vine too early, it doesn't develop digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are the catalyst that actually allows the nutrition into the body. So you're absolutely right. Sorry, James, we didn't plan to go off on a farming and agriculture there, but let's go.
No, that's fine. It's good for the kids. Glad to hear it. So this is a Good Friday's military report. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Make some of the libtards, or whatever, spin. The United States Army is extending orders for the National Guard to remain on active duty in the nation's capital through November 30th. Although the president could shorten or lengthen the deployment, it's open-ended for now for these 950 soldiers that remain. This does not apply for the 1,300 troops deployed from Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, Tennessee, South Carolina, or West Virginia. While they remain under their governor's control, the majority will remain on orders in Washington through the end of December. So that's a big win there. I like to hear that.
Yep.
And this is my favorite part of the two subjects that I'm going to bring up. The United States Army is replacing units at our southern border in Joint Task Force Southern Border with the 101st Airborne 10th Mountain Division, the 10th Combat Aviation Brigade, the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team of the 1st Armored Division, the 101st Airborne Assault Division, Artillery, and the 11th 130th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade of the North Carolina National Guard. The number of soldiers being replaced equals 7,600. The soldiers deployed to the southern border since President Trump signed the executive order on January 20th will receive the new Mexican Defense Border Medal.
Excellent. Great report, James, as always. Thank you. Well, let's see. Charlie is here. Good morning, Charlie. And there he is. 03 USMC Sarge is here. And I think it was Sarge or John Gwynn that sent some perfume for you, James. That might be a hint. I don't know. Just taking a wild stab.
What? Perfume?
Exactly. All right. Let's see here. Oh, we got some technical issues on this other screen. There we go. All right. So we're going to talk a lot today about, look at this. Latina Boss Lady just joined as a subscriber. Welcome, Latina Boss Lady. Hopefully you can join us on the live only after the main show. It'd be great. Towie Bixby just showed up. Hey, Towie. All right. Let's see here. So Senator Rand Paul came out yesterday and said there's going to be significant revelation about Anthony Fauci in the next week. Now, there's a whole lot of this strung together, but let's start with that. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Weasel. It's the first word that comes to mind. And I know it's in the report in different places, but I mean, RFK Jr. yesterday spitting fire, shutting them down. It was glorious. And I think that when go back to today's Delta, there's going to be a lot come out, and it's going to require all of us to empathetically be present for those of us around us as the truth starts to come out. Empathetically be present for those around us, because we in this community, us on the panel, have had some pretty well-formed opinions about everything for quite a while. But as disclosure continues, when the truth comes out about Fauci, Dr. Jack Cruz talks a lot about Fauci and the SV40 and going back to the AIDS epidemic and Fauci's involvement in that. Like, this is not a good dude. This is not a good dude.
Right. And it's my opinion, and it's possible that he's already been dealt with, but we haven't seen it optically. But we'll have to wait and see. James, what are your thoughts on Rand Paul? I'm
happy that he's re-referring. Fauci is being referred to the DOJ, and he was granted a pardon with the auto pen. There's no evidence of Biden's direct authorization. Dr. Paul's renewing his referral, urging an immediate review of both the original allegations and the legal validity of the pardon itself. The reason Elizabeth Warren, or Pocahontas, advocates the vaccine makers is that she's been paid from them by the tune of $855,000. And she's been caught hook, line, and sinker, frog in the boiling water, and the rat in the trap. There's no disputing that.
It's bedwetter.
Yeah, I was going to put that in there, but I was like, not today.
Hey, Brian said, Alex, if they're not awake and aware by now, then they're on their own. Brian, I would disagree. I look at it from a perspective that people have been conditioned and programmed for decades. And although we've been in this fight for a very long time, some of you a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I'm looking at it from a 40-year perspective. So I would encourage everyone to give grace to the people that are waking up. It takes time. And then you have to, on top of that, realize that physically and physiologically, people have been so toxified, so malnutritioned that they can't think straight. So I get what you're saying, Brian, but I think it's important that we give as much grace as possible and we come alongside these people and lift them up. Alex?
I'd like to just put on the record. Let's watch over the next few years as a particular additive to our water disappears, how critical thinking starts to come back into the human brain. Like there's a lot happening, and it all, like, again, Dave eloquently, has shared with us the wagon wheel perspective, right? There's so many spokes to the wheel, and as we continue to see more evidence, more receipts, he's right. There are some, you can tell them right now that the sky's blue and they're going to argue with you till the sun goes down. And that's fine. But there will be people waking up and devastated by the reality of what has been done to the American people for quite some time.
Right. I agree. Hey, B. Bethany just showed up. Hi, B. Bethany. Everybody should go.
Each person's different. So it just takes that one key to unlock the thinking process to start that off.
100%.
And then you start questioning, So that's what you got to do. You got to be patient and try to help them through it.
Yeah, exactly. And I would encourage everyone to give as much grace as possible to the people that are waking up or haven't woken up yet. I have family members that have no clue. I mean, and you can imagine what I've been doing with them over 40 years' time. And yet they still don't get it. Yeah, I know. And I've had to learn the hard way that you can't force someone to wake up. You can plant seeds, you can water those seeds, but the waking up process is out of our control, at least in my opinion. So hang in there, Brian. Everybody else hang in there, because we're moving at light speed with when it comes to exposure, in my opinion. All right, here, let's see. Benji 1959 agrees. Well, great, Ben. I'm glad you agree. Let's see. Brian said, I get it, but it's leading a horse to water theory. I know, but you can't make the horse drink. It's just
maybe he just wanted a carrot.
Exactly. Lisa Piquel said it's because those that have been lied to are considered the most enlightened, i.e. college graduates. Lisa, that's a very good point. I have a family member, a sibling, who is extremely intelligent. But when I present these things to her, now she's come a long way. She's starting to listen more. But when I present certain things to her, she can't grasp it. She doesn't see it. And it's not because she's not intelligent. She is very intelligent. But when it comes to reading the tea leaves, so to speak, looking at it critically, a lot of people have trouble with that. So again, I encourage everyone to come alongside people, raise them up, don't beat them down. All right, so let's move on here. So RFK Jr. was on a tear yesterday, and there's no other way to put it, but he was on fire. And he talked initially about COVID, and he was talking about how we were lied to, that the vaccines didn't work, they didn't prevent transmission, they didn't prevent infection, and that natural immunity was superior. And there was many things that he said. That was one of them. Another one, let's start with that one first. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Well, going back to the conversation we were just having, normalcy bias, disruptive events. This is extremely disruptive when you have the entire machine that is news, radio, medical, everybody singing the same tune, that, it's going to do this and, it's going to do that. Well, the normalcy bias of that education and what the medical boards are telling, the doctors to facilitate these things, it just perpetuates that information. And so it's very difficult for us to consume now the fact that, masks don't work. It didn't stop the spread. You got to get booster after booster after booster after booster. I found it interesting that RFK called them out on the carpet because the Dems were trying to articulate that Dr. Malone, who is the inventor of mRNA, was a kook when it came to mRNA. RFK's like, you're trying to tell me that the man who invented it is not an expert on it? Like the lunacy. So brilliance does not always equal common sense.
Right. June 2024 just made it. And Traveler, hey guys, glad you could make it. Let's see, there was a comment in here, and I think it was important. Well, I seem to have lost it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Latina Boss Lady said, I had friends that stopped talking to me whenever I brought up the subject of waking up. Well, let me give you a little advice, for lack of a better term. When I was younger, and we're talking 30, 35, 40 years ago, I knew these things to be true. And I would try to give people a drink of water from a fire hose. And it never worked. And sometimes then I try to beat them over the head with facts and figures and reports, and they didn't listen. So again, the waking up process is out of our control. It's something that we can come alongside. And when the opportunity arises and they ask you questions, that's really the key. When they start to ask questions, that's when you can really be effective, in my opinion. Dave, what do you think on the first part of RFK Jr.?
Well, I wouldn't want to mess with that guy. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know. That's for darn sure. It's coming to light slowly but surely. I'm excited what Rand Paul is saying. I'm excited how all this is coming forward in September. Beautiful month of September. So bring it on.
Exactly. James?
It's interesting the fire that's in his eyes when he comes to talk about the things that he believes so wholeheartedly in, and his whole soul, to the point where this is probably going to threaten the dollar signs that go into the Democratic pockets, or the very people that are opposing him, to the tune of, oh, let's gain 1,000 signatures because he either needs to resign or President Trump needs to fire him. So they know he's coming, and he's right on everything. Just like the Democratic Party not standing up at an inaugural speech for a little boy that's going to be our Secret Service and special agent. These are the kind of things that are never ending, and it's a sick thing. It really is.
It is.
Quite frankly, these people are sick. I say it all the time. They're sick. These people are sick.
Alex, I am not seeing any feed from Rumble or YouTube on Restream. Are we live over there?
Yeah, I am monitoring, and I'll say this. I don't know what happened. There's 40 people watching on YouTube, and I am seeing a couple of other platforms posting to the stream, and we have one troll. But wait, let me fix that. Okay, bye. We have no trolls today.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing anything from YouTube. That's weird. Good old technology. What are you gonna do?
I'll keep on top of it and try to acknowledge. We do have some people over here. There was one lady who was in the Navy. Another lady that was one of the first female aircraft technicians in the military. Here it is. Alexia. I was one of the first women out of 10 aviation mechanics. You might have worked on this guy's helicopter. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Our Apache pilot. But thank you for your service, and we appreciate you guys watching the show.
Absolutely. So Wendy and Mama Bear both posted Pepe Frogs in the chat. So apropos for what we're talking about right now. Very much so. Okay. Joy said that was a test to see how many people would comply and who they could control. It's a very good point, Joy. Very good point. All right. So let's see. Next thing that RFK Jr. was discussing yesterday was the CDC. He's been getting a lot of heat for firing people. The CDC, the FDA, in my opinion, needs to be torn down and rebuilt. And he specifically came out and blamed the CDC for the United States becoming sicker, which he's absolutely correct. That is their job, to protect the American people, and they've failed to do so. Now, James, what are your thoughts on this portion of RFK Jr.?
Well, I kind of ran over some of that on my first summation of the topic, and I apologize for that. I didn't realize it had subparts A, B, and C, and D. Um, the CDC, they're probably mostly bought too. For them to fall into the very trap that most of America did, it's kind of surprising. But I think a lot of it had to do with pharma, and I think a lot of it had to do with the dollar signs that were involved.
Well, and it's interesting too because the CDC owns patents and they generate income that is not distributed to the American people. That's another thing that needs to be dealt with. Hey, Lace and Steele just made it. Hey, Lace. Alex, any thoughts on this next portion of RFK Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, he again called him out on the carpet. They're like, "Well, do you know this number? Do you know that number?" And he's like, "No." Well, you're the director. You're the person, and you can't answer that question. He says, "Nobody can answer that question because the CDC data is shit. Period. There's nothing there. The VARs is jacked and not reported properly. CDC hasn't done a good job." And then he said, "You've been sitting in that chair for more than 40 years while our country has gotten sicker. But you're going to sit up here and grandstand to get your sound bites? Man, dude, 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in less than 10 minutes. What is his record? I think 4 minutes or something like that. I'd have loved to see him arm wrestle some of them dumb sons of... Anyway.
I know. I agree. So we've had some questions about Loy. So Loy Brunson is coming on the show on Monday, and it will be at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I want to thank everybody. You guys all went over and followed him. He's well over 1,000 followers now on his new account. So we won't have any problem getting him on the live on Monday, but it is this coming Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So hopefully you can join us for that. It's going to be a barn burner, I'm thinking.
Are we dedicating the whole show to him?
Well, I think we're going to kind of play it by ear. We're going to give, I think we'll probably go through our indices and reports first. And then if he's there, we'll bring him on at somewhere around 9:10, 9:15, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just kind of a guess. I mean, we'll just kind of play it by ear and see what happens.
Yeah.
Jay Walker said, common sense equals Trump. Absolutely. That's the thing about common sense is it's not very common, although it's becoming more common now, which is great. Wendy, thank you for what was that, a microphone? That was cool. I know, Brian. I'm just waiting for Brian to post oh, no, Mama Bear beat him to it. Squirrels in the chat. You guys know me too well. Just too well. All right. So the next thing that RFK Jr. was discussing was essentially he was having a screaming match with Elizabeth Warren. A screaming match. And I'm not exaggerating. And he called her straight out and said, look, you've taken almost $1 million from Big Pharma. She had no reply to it because she's guilty as sin. Dave, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it was neat to see because he could handle himself. Sometimes, I know he's got a little bit of a speech issue, and I always wish he could just get through that fighter a little more. But he did a good job on defending his. I wouldn't want to face that guy. He like I said, he's forgotten more than I'll ever know. That's sure.
And Lee Daniel over on Facebook said, can someone explain why his voice is like that? Sometimes it's hard to listen to. He had some sort of a medical issue. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it affected his vocal cords. And that's one of the things that cracks me up is these lefties, they're saying because he's had a problem with his voice, he's not qualified to give health advice. I mean, my God, how bizarre is that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just that's like comparing the guy that had one arm that threw a no-hitter in baseball, right?
Yeah. I mean, whatever works, man. The guy knows his stuff. Gen X Hold said that was absolutely glorious. It absolutely was. It was something to behold. All right. So, Dave, any comments on this interaction with RFK Jr. and Elizabeth Warren?
I'm just excited to see that stuff brought to the surface, and calling her out because that's where we're pointed. That's the new administration, and I'm happy to see no messing around action by a presidential administration, and that's what we're doing, moving forward whether they like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. James?
Pocahontas had the look of a caught burglar.
Yeah, it's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right. Oh, you know what? Let's do sponsorship. We're already. Wow,
Wait,
look at that from Charlie.
wait,
Oh, sorry.
wait.
What?
Can I chime in on
Yes,
the money?
sir.
Prominent politicians who have received contributions from pharmaceutical industry based off data receipts from Open Secrets, STAT, STAT, and KFF Health News. While this is not an exhaustive list, Senators Gary Peters, Democrat, well over $100,000 from Pfizer, Merrick, GlaxoSmithKline, and Amgen. Catherine Cortez, Democrat from Nevada, $46,000. Ron Wyden, who was sitting where yesterday? $1.2 million from the pharmaceutical health products sector, $351,000 in the 2024 cycle. So the guy who's leading the charge to talk shit to RFK, $1.2 million. You wonder why he was trying to seem like he was, and there was so much contrast between when the Republicans had a conversation and when the Democrats were talking to RFK. Anyway, I'll continue. So not just Democrats, folks. Steve Daines, Republican from Montana, $10,000. While that's not enough, not a lot, it's still money from the pharmaceutical sector. Todd Young, Republican, Indiana. Rick Scott, Republican in Florida. But we get to House of Representatives. There are quite a few members. I won't go through all that, but there are also people there collectively, more than $500,000. Presidential candidates: Kamala Harris, nearly $1.7 million from pharmaceutical manufacturing sector for her 2020 and 2024 campaigns, significantly outpacing Trump, who apparently had $300,000. We'll call it like it is, folks. We'll bring you the receipts. So there were pharmaceuticals, Pfizer, that contributed $300,000. Contributions came from PACs and individuals tied to the industry. Bernie Sanders, $1,417,666 in the 2020 cycle. Also in 2019, Elizabeth Warren, $822,000 in the 2020 cycle. Amy Collinger. So, you know, these pharmaceutical companies knew that if Trump won and if RFK got positioned into where he's at, that the gig is up. It's over. We know where the money came from. We will know which politicians are getting paid. And isn't it funny that the politicians that are getting paid are the pig squealing loudest yesterday up on those stands?
Exactly. Valerie James said that RFK Jr. has spasmodic dysphoria, and it started in his 40s. Thank you, Valerie. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was, but that's right on target. Thank you for that reminder. All right. Well, let's see here. Oh, that's right. Sponsors. So, MyPillow, MyPillow.com, Mike Lindell, My Store, MyStore.com. Use the code SAM. You get up to 80% off. He's doing all kinds of specials. If you need something for the house, around the house, go and buy it from Mike. He deserves it. He's earned it. And he's working hard for America's integrity. And then Neil Naturopathic. Dr. Neil has developed a line of hair care products that will destroy dandruff, increase your hair growth, and he does it all with no chemicals and no additives and no preservatives. NeilNaturopathic.com. Use the code SAM20 and get 20% off your order. And Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Glidden has developed a website. And if you have kids or grandkids or great-grandkids, you would owe it to yourself to join his membership. Use the code SAM. You'll get 30% off of his membership rates. He's basically giving it away for free. And any question you can think of when it comes to health and wellness, you'll find that answer on his website. And he also has a new book out. If you go to my website, click on the book link, use the code SAM, and you'll get 10% off of his new book. Alex, cyber security, please.
risktooltech.com. If your organization is in need of training, cybersecurity training, and awareness, we are the providers of that training for your staff, thus lowering your cybersecurity footprint and threat profile. risktooltech.com.
Thank you, Alex. Sarge said he was replying to one of the trolls on on TikTok, and he said, Patrick, you poor soul. And I think that's a really good way to look at it. These people are lost. They don't understand what's going on. They have no clue. And I think because of their levels of cognitive dissonance, it's really difficult for them to grasp some of the things that we have known for years. So, pray for them. Come alongside them. Build them up. And I think that's the key to unification, which is the goal of this entire administration. All right, let's see here. Jerry BR49 didn't put a squirrel in the chat. He spelled it out. Squirrel. Exactly. Oh, hey, Magic just showed up. Hey, Magic. So Senator Johnson brought some news out yesterday, and it was amplified by Vigilant Fox over on X. And he revealed that a high-quality vaxxed versus unvaxxed study will finally be made public. It was originally conducted in 2000. The results have been buried for 25 years. And what did the data suggest? That vaccinated population is far more prone to chronic illness than people completely unexposed to the vaccines. Now, as we all know, anybody who supposedly got COVID and got the vax, what do they keep getting? That's right, COVID. There's a reason for that. James, what do you think?
I'm not as many times as we've been over this, and the reasons why people continually get that. Obviously, there's been a breakdown in their system. People that aren't susceptible to herd immunity, people that don't have the immunity in themselves anyway. Staying masked, staying covered, and not out in public. I never got anything. I didn't take the jab. I've been out in the public ever since it started. Nothing ever happened to me.
Exactly. I've had the only vaccines I've ever had when I was a child, and I think we got 3 when I was young. But I've never had vaccine, never had the flu vaccine or anything else. It's garbage. It's toxic. Dave?
Well, my thought process with the flu vaccine was they could never guess what was coming up down the alley anyway. So what's the point of that?
Yeah.
They would just do the best percentages. But whoever hid this since 2000 needs to be hunted down and taken care of.
And I think it's coming.
Oh my God, it's insane.
I think it's coming. Hey, sassy Minnesota girl made it. And Jess the Mess from Tex is here. Hey, Jess. Valerie James said, I had the flu vax once and got sick as hell. Exactly. It's ridiculous. Like Dave said, I think there's over 240 different strains of the flu. And the year before, they decide what 2 or 3 strains are going to put in the vaccination. It's absolute just a guess. And not to mention all the crap that they put in the vaccines on top of it. All right, Alex, any thoughts?
If we're speaking specifically about the C19, everyone should look into the 2024 Swedish study in the European Heart Journal. The myocarditis damage or pericarditis damage in young males 12 to 29 is 50 to 130 cases per million. In 28 to 147 per million in ages 18 to 29. Wow. You're promoting something that is going, and we've watched it, right? What is the documentary that's out? Dropped, DEAD. Suddenly, what was it? Dropped suddenly. I don't remember the name of anyway, high school athletes in the prime of their life, 17, 18, 16 years old, on the football field, who just dropped. And what did they find? Myocarditis. Their heart stopped. You're peddling poison for a solution that you created by gain of function in the lab. The insanity, right? normalcy bias. Oh, that wouldn't happen in America. Well, folks, it did happen.
Right. Lisa said, my healthy 28-year-old daughter died in 2023. She was an Army wife forced to take the jab. Lisa, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that happen. You know, I have a story too. My brother, Dr. Mike, God rest his soul, who was one of my greatest mentors when it comes to waking me up, his son, my nephew, Gabriel, never got one vaccine from the day he was born forward. But he had it in his mind that he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And he's a stud. I mean, this nephew of mine is just built like a brick house. Anyway, he went into boot camp and they started filling him full of vaccines, right? Within a week, he was so sick, they gave him an honorable discharge because he couldn't continue. So that's an example of what happens when it comes to vaccination. They're just not good. All right, so let's move on. A federal jury has ordered Google to pay over $400 million for improperly snooping on people's smartphones during a nearly decade-long period of intrusions. Well, I got news for you. It's been going on for a hell of a lot longer than a decade. Alex?
If everybody remembers the movie with Batman, where Morgan Freeman, they're in the basement and they bring up the screens and you can see digitally X-ray inside of people's places. Your Wi-Fi router in your home can be used by pinging signals off of things to create a holographic image of everything inside of your home. Yes, they are spying on us in every possible imaginable way. If you talk about cat food for the next 5 minutes to your phone's over on the nightstand and you're talking to somebody about cat food, guaranteed every one of your ads on every app that you're on is going to start being cat food. I'm going to say cat food about 5 more times while I'm explaining this to you, and you'll see sometime today on your phone, you're going to be offered cat food as a sales pitch. So they're looking, right? And this is what, okay, because we don't always, get on our knees for number 47. I'm a little skeptical about this dinner that they had last night with the head of Google there and Facebook and Bill Gates talking about technology and these things. And I keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Like what's going to come from all of this? But there needs to be more solutions out there for to have our own data, protect our own data, using VPNs, using software and phones that are encrypted, and ways for us to meow, meow, meow.
I couldn't help it. Dave put that up in the middle of your speech, and I'm like, oh my God.
I'm telling you, everybody, we're going to have 100 complaints on Monday's show. Damn it, Alex, all I've had all weekend is cat food ads.
Exactly.
They've been listening for a long time, and it's not just them listening. Our federal government is listening through the Patriot Act. Look what Snowden put out. Look at the WikiLeaks. This is not news, but the fact that they're being held accountable at some level, maybe it needs to go a little further, but I don't know. 30 years in IT, I don't know anything about it, guys. Move on.
Yeah. Dave?
Well, didn't it initially happen after a September day in 2001 when for spying and everything on...
That was the Patriot Act passed in the middle of the night.
So that was what initially started this ball rolling down the hill.
Well, I think it was going on prior to that. I think that particular Patriot Act document opened the floodgates for them to be able to just across the board, nothing anymore is sacred as far as your personal identity on this thing called the interwebs.
And to further explain that point, 40 years ago, a friend of the family by the name of Mark worked for the Rand Corporation. This is 40 years ago. And he said back then they had satellites that had such accurate imagery that they could count the blades of grass from space 40 years ago. So anyway, go ahead, Dave.
By saying that too, Sam, why are we so worried about a balloon that China sent over then?
Right.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
they had that 40 years ago, why would
Right.
they be sending a balloon over? There's other reasons for that, or or to focus away from something or something else. It's insane on what happens across the board. So
everybody in the chat is putting stuff about cats now. Oh my gosh, everybody's gonna get inundated with cat food ads. James?
Well, so I read somebody said Purina sales stock is going to go up because of Dave, and Alex, that explains with what you said. That explains why I've been getting all these steak sales coming up from every freaking store in the neighborhood.
Well, you might want to pay attention to them, brother.
Yeah.
Right on.
Oh.
So between July 1st, 2016 and September 23rd of 2024, the total damages was about 427 million on 98 million devices. So that comes up to a total of about $4 per device. So you know, we might have to consult you, Sam, on where we're going to go with all that newfound wealth.
There we go. There we go. All right, let's move on. So the White House revealed it's going to bring back the Department of War as terms of the name for the Department of Defense. James?
Glad you picked me first, boss. I appreciate that.
I mean, you are our military expert. Of course I'm going to pick you first.
Well, according to President Trump, it projects strength and resolve. It will use the secondary title while the administration seeks congressional approval. U.S. media projects $1 billion cost for the overhaul for hundreds of agencies, emblems, email addresses, and uniforms. It was first established in 1789 and lasted till 1947. Of course, it didn't take long for a Democrat to speak up. New Jersey Democrat Senator Andy Kim said it's a childish idea. Americans want to prevent wars, not tout them. Well, I can tell you this. President Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth agree that the Democrats are too focused on diversity, equality, and inclusion of programs and woke ideology. This action marks President Trump's 200th executive order and directly coincides with the removing of transgenders from the military, renaming of ships and military bases, and ousting big numbers of high-ranking officers that are confused with the American military mission.
Excellent. I knew going to you first would be the right choice, James. Dave?
Thank you.
This was around during the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Mexican-American War, Civil War, Spanish-American War, the Philippine-American War, World War I and World War II. So it's interesting to see, and maybe we're going back in time a little bit here, people.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes out of it.
Just a mess from Texas. I have a cat, so I'm good. As far as the cat heads, Wendy J said, I need raccoon food to show up.
That's cat food too.
Yeah, exactly. Alex?
Well, if we go back to when it was changed, formally August 10th, 1949, was this the beginning of America getting soft? Because the term war was seen as outdated and overly militaristic in a world seeking to, stabilize after World War II. So defense conveyed protection and readiness, resonating better than Department of War. So was that the beginning of DEI? I don't know.
Exactly. So moving on, the United States continues to monitor China's research activity in the Arctic as the Coast Guard shadowed 2 Chinese ships near Alaska earlier this week. James?
2 out of 5 is what we've been really watching. We've got eyes on them. A C-130 flying out of the United States Coast Guard Air Station Kodiak, and our icebreaker Healy and Coast Guard cutter, I don't know how to say this one, Watchy, continue to monitor. We will defend America's Arctic approaches, uphold maritime security, and ensure no foreign power operates unchecked in our waters. Rear Admiral Bob Little said, this operation highlights our ice-capable fleet. It's also a call for more icebreakers.
Excellent. Dave?
No, it's something we got to keep an eye on. I can't add much more to that, what James said.
I know. I always go to James first because it's military, and then everybody else says, I don't have anything to add. Good job, James. Kevin Kiesler's here. Hey, Kevin. Alex, any comment on that?
Well, China's deepening cooperation with Russia as a key Arctic player is something I think that we should be a little mindful of. They're strategically saying that it's scientific research when it's really dual activities, right? There are some military implications to them being up there. So geopolitical ambitions, what are they looking to maybe achieve, acquire? This is all in the northern hemisphere. What are they doing down there at the South Pole?
Well, and to quote one of the Q drops, it said, what if POTUS, China, Russia, and North Korea are working together? And I believe that they are. So a lot of what we're seeing is theater. A lot of what we're seeing is to bring awareness to what's been going on. And the thing with when we brought up the thing about the White House with Bill Gates being there, I don't believe for a second that's the real Bill Gates. If you look at his pictures now versus the way he looked 5 years ago, to me, that's definitely a 2.0. So what are they doing? It's called game theory. They're using the 2.0s to highlight and bring awareness to things that happened in the past, in my opinion. But
I thought the same thing about Joey.
Yeah, exactly.
Skin cancer deal.
Very good point.
Little different.
Very good point. All right, everybody. So we've come to the end of the regular show. Oh, Wendy said, I agree, Sam. Q told us all. Exactly. John Gwynn said, Troller was shadowing our carrier. Huh. Well, they're messing with the wrong guys if it is some sort of nefarious faction within those other countries. But again, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Okay, so we are moving now to ours. We didn't hit our 100,000, so we will be moving to our subscriber only live. And if you are on X, Rumble, Facebook, or YouTube, we will not be continuing the broadcast over there. So move over to TikTok if you have a TikTok account. If not, join one. Get on.
Before you kick them off, are we going to give them final thoughts?
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do final thoughts first, James.
Well, we move into the weekend. Hopefully that crypto makes a rebound because I'm going to have to be listening to Alex's meat commercials all weekend via the radio and my phone. But I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for the gifts. It's really cool. You didn't need to do that, but oh no, we just hit 100,000. I guess I got to.
I knew as soon as I said we were going to go that people were going to be on fire on the screen. You guys are awesome, Dave.
Yes, it's interesting. Trump's actually got a little bit of stuff going on this Friday. He had an intelligence briefing at 10:30 today. He's doing an ambassador ceremony and signs executive orders at 2 p.m. today, so that'll be exciting. He makes an announcement at 4 p.m. tonight. It could be about where he's going to play golf next for you left side guys, or very important stuff too. So, and then host another dinner in the Rose Garden. I appreciate you guys. Let's see what happens this afternoon and the weekend, and be ready to get back on Monday.
Exactly.
Alex, he's going to give Alex the bad news for the weekend.
And then what if we wake up tomorrow and XRP's at 1,000 per coin?
No. Zip it.
Alex,
take that.
Uh-oh, I think Alex froze. Oh, no, he didn't. Okay, I thought he froze there for a minute.
I felt that. I felt that.
I appreciate the camaraderie as my phone rings from Washington, D.C. I appreciate the camaraderie from you three gentlemen, the support, the kindness, the messages, the love from our audience and trolls alike. I hope that you all have a blessed and prosperous weekend. Enjoy time with your family. Get outside. Put your feet in the dirt. It's truly an honor to wake up every morning with air in my lungs and a voice to continue to help humanity. Thank you.
Amen. Very well stated. All three of you gentlemen, thank you for being here. Okay, everyone over on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, we are going to be signing off now. Don't forget, Lloyd Brunson is on the show Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Hopefully you can join us.